What is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of What's My Thing, number 63, I believe. You'll find out in the title right there, which you probably already know after looking at it, and you're watching that video right now. So, yeah. What I want to talk about is iOS 7. So, you guys are probably like, yeah, I'm excited! New update for iOS 7, and it's a new look. That's great for you guys that have the newer devices, but as far as the older devices I'm concerned about, you will get the update. I'm sure you'll be happy with it, but you might not be 100% satisfied with the update versus getting the update on the newer devices. In the case, oh, wow, I can't speak today. What is wrong with my voice? So you have an iPhone 5 or an iPod Touch 5th generation, or the newer iPad mini, or the iPad 4th generation, in this case, well, of course, it's going to run smoothly on those devices. But if you have like an iPhone 4S, iPad 2, I believe, or maybe the iPad 3, or the well, the iPod Touch 4th generation is not supported, but especially what I have, the iPhone 4. It might run a little bit sluggish on those devices, and my main concern is the iPhone 4. Now, I know there are other devices that might have the same performance issues as the iPhone 4, but the iPhone 4 is what I most commonly have right now. Plus, this is the only iPhone that I have besides the 3G that's sitting on my bookshelf with iOS 4.2.1. But the iPhone 4, I'm concerned about the performance of this thing when I update to iOS 7. Why am I concerned? Let me explain why. So Apple's updates in the past, well, when they release an iPhone or an iOS device in general, it gets its updates and then it goes faster. But then eventually it comes to a point where that particular device starts to lag on a particular operating system. So, for example, the iPhone 3G, that was first released with iPhone OS 2.0, and then iPhone OS 3.0 came out, and that came out with the 3GS, and then when it hit iPhone or iOS 4.0, the iPhone 3G really crapped out, and Apple tried to put more updates into it, 4.0.1, 4.1, whatever. Now it's at 4.2.1, and then the update stopped, and it cannot support 4.3 or higher up to this date. And the iPhone 3GS has finally gone completely outdated since iOS 7. Why is that? Because iPhone 3GS cannot support iOS 7. And why is this? Well, I'm assuming that iOS 6 must be running sort of poorly on the iPhone 3GS, but the iPhone 3GS was a strong phone and it was able to support iOS 6. Now, for those of you iPhone 3GS users, I want you guys to comment down below. If you are running iOS 6, how is it running for you? Now, iOS 6 on my iPhone 4, it's not bad. I do notice some lag here and there, but I did do a video comparing iOS 6 running on the iPhone 4 versus iPhone 3G running iOS 4.2.1. I gotta stop thinking about iPhone OS whatever, because that was what it was called back then before 4.0. And Apple has really made improvements on the iPhone 4, which is why they're able to support this thing with iOS 7, because the iPhone 3G was very weak, and then no matter what you do, you're scrolling, or you like doing intense scrolling, or if you're trying to view a web page in mobile Safari, the thing lags like crazy. And who knows what iOS 7 can do to this iPhone 4. I'd be surprised if it were to run exactly the way that iOS 6 is running on the iPhone 4 right now. But can it be a little bit better than the performance we're getting on the iPhone 4 with iOS 6? That's the question that Apple needs to answer, and we will find out the answer when I or other iPhone 4 owners update this thing to iOS 7. As far as iPod Touch 5th generation updated to iOS 7, I'm not even concerned about it. Yeah, I know, I just threw my iPod, but don't worry, my bed is right next to me. Because iOS 7 is going to run fine on the iPod Touch 5th generation. What happens when iOS 8 comes out? That's the question. Then we'll talk the iPod Touch 5th generation. So anyway, guys, what do you think about iOS 7 running on the older devices, or in my case, the iPhone 4? What are your predictions? My predictions for iOS 7 running the iPhone 4 is that performance might be getting a little bit worse compared to iOS 6 running on the iPhone 4 right now. But you never know. I could be surprised. It either stays the same performance or it runs a little bit better. And then the question is, will iOS 8 support the iPhone 4? And I'm assuming that iOS 8 might not support the iPhone 4. But then again, I could be surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if it can't be supported. So that's it. See ya in the next one.